everyone. Bobby Valentine here with Frankie Rampant. Yeah, and we're going to do the Bobby Valentine to Hanashima show. We're going to talk about baseball and Major League Baseball in particular, how the Japanese players are doing thus far in the major leagues. And you see, I'm wearing my Dodger uniform this week. Frankie has his Marine uniform on. Yeah. But I'm wearing that in honor of course, Shohei Ohtani and Manamiko's new baby daughter, born just 2 days ago. There's what kind of feats will she have as she progresses through to match her daddy's feats on the ball field. He did not play, but in honor of the newborn baby, so many Japanese pitchers excelled on the MLB diamond this week. Frankie, who did we have in the big spotlight this week?
Yes, a lot of great outings by Japanese pitchers, highlighted by Kodai Senga of the New York Mets. He had a 6-inning outing of scoreless baseball, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 7 innings of scoreless baseball. They are the number 1 and number 2 longest scoreless streaks in baseball, currently active. 18 2/3 for Senga and 18 for Yamamoto. They are really leading the pack in the National League in the Cy Young race, along with another Japanese starter, left-hander Shota Imanaga. He has been unbelievable so far this year. After a great year last season, he just had a great, tough start against the San Diego Padres, a great team so far. Had a wild moment with Manny Machado where he actually got him to pop out into foul ground on the first pitch, and then it got dropped, popped out later, a couple pitches later, dropped again. And then what happened when you give a perennial all-star, potential Hall of Famer 2 chances, 3 chances, he's going to hit a home run. So absolutely wild scene there. But Shota Imanaga, Yamamoto, and Kodai Senga have all been unbelievable, really at the top of the Cy Young race in the National League.
And who's coming up fast is the youngest of all, the 23-year-old Roki Sasaki, who added a wonderful new pitch, which I said he had to do in this development process that he has. He threw 25 sliders while completing 6 innings, could have gotten the win, except for the Dodgers gave up a sayonara home run at the end of the game. But here you see Roki with his spectacular splitter and his new pitch slider and his fastball control, completing 6 innings against a very good baseball team at the major league level. He's making progress. He might be the guy that everyone was hoping him to be.
Yeah, after a few shaky outings to start his career, everyone talk about him. Oh, is he going to be okay? Oh, he's only 23 years old. He's still finding his footing. He's going to figure things out. Completing 6 innings for the first time in his career is a big step, especially on the road in Arlington against a good Texas Rangers team who just won the World Series 2 years ago. And he had a pretty wild moment in that game where Andy Pages, his center fielder, saved him of a run, almost gave up a home run for the second time, 2 starts in a row. Roki Sasaki was saved of giving up a long ball from his center fielder, Andy Pages. Here it is right here.
And we're calling it the play of the week. The play of the week is Andy going up, going over, and bringing the ball back. Great job by the young center fielder, another rookie on the Dodger team. The two of them are going to grow together and progress together as rookies on this spectacular LA Dodger team. Yes, up and over and bring it back. Pretty good play.
And if Andy's going to be robbing home runs every time Sasaki goes out with a pitch, he's going to love him even more.
Yeah, they're growing together. There's no doubt about that. And not getting the win there is a hard luck effort, but a very good effort. And another hard luck pitcher I've watched closely is Yosei Kikuchi, who's pitched extremely well for the LA Angels. He's pitched 4 starts, all on the road. The umpires missed many pitches while he's pitching. He's thrown strikes that they're calling balls, and it's cost him a couple runs and actually cost him a win or two. He also gave up a grand slam home run into the first row but he's throwing his cutter really well. His fastball is good. He's developed that changeup, throwing more curveballs. I'm looking for Kikuchi to be one of the best pitchers in the American League this year.
Yeah, Kikuchi, we've talked about a couple of his tough luck outings so far this year, and you mentioned that home run was at George Steinbrenner Field down in Tampa, Florida. It's a replica of Yankee Stadium. It's the spring training facility, so it's got the exact same dimensions. That home run to right field was hit 321 feet, so that's just an absolutely tough home run to give up, and a grand slam at that.
And if it was this much to the right, it would have been a foul ball, but it was fair in the front row. Well, you're talking about hard luck, but he's pitching well. He's healthy. Yeah. And the good news is the Japanese players, as well as Suzuki playing and hitting in Chicago, everyone's just doing a great job making all the Japanese fans proud, for sure.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable, the Japanese performances so far, really, over the course of the season, but really this past week. And we'll talk about a little bit more in depth about some of those tough luck decisions and losses for Kikuchi so far this season. You can look at the umpire scorecard website to find every single pitch, or not every single pitch, but you can see every single outing and how many calls are made correctly and how many calls are made incorrectly by every umpire in every game of the season. So I looked into some of Kikuchi's starts this year and saw
umpire scorecard, that's called, Frankie. Huh?
Yes, umpire scorecard.
Scorecard.com. If anyone goes on, and you can see how they rate the umpires. So go ahead. Yes,
umpirescorecard.com. So Kikuchi, in one of his starts, the one that he had against the White Sox, only 88% of the calls were made correctly by home plate umpire Mike Muszlinski. 18 missed calls, and it said that it gave an overall favor, whatever that means, of 0.95 towards the St. Louis Cardinals. So according to their metrics and their numbers, one run almost was added to the St. Louis Cardinals probability. They still had to go out there and score the runs, but never easy when you're getting some calls against you for Kikuchi so far. But he has looked very good, like we showed during those clips.
Yeah, he's a good pitcher. Health is the key now, and everyone's on a 5-man rotation. They might stretch it a little as the season goes on and give guys a little more rest, but everyone's doing a great job. There's no doubt about that. And there's a lot of excitement at different ballparks around the league. Of course, the weather's warming up in many of those cold weather cities. The ball's going to start flying a lot more. And what have we seen, Frankie?
We saw some cool action over in Anaheim, Bobby. You saw some on last night, actually, the 19th. It was Star Wars Day at Angel Stadium. A lot of crazy characters walking around the stadium because May the 4th, big Star Wars Day. Every team is going to do Star Wars stuff. May the 4th be with you. Cool little Star Wars pun there. We're doing a little early. I assume the Angels are going to be on the road during that time. But, Bobby, what happened over there at Angel Stadium? You saw some very cool things over there.
Yeah, all the characters were there. I got to take a photo with Darth Vader, and everyone was out there walking the stadium, meeting the kids. And not only was it that Star Wars night, but there was a great drone show. Here I am in my seats after the game, and there were 800 drones in the air lighting up the sky. It was really a fantastic show. If you haven't seen a drone show yet, I think it's much better than fireworks night. Everything was lit up. There's Darth there in the background. Wow, he lit up with all 800 drones showing their face, and the fans loved it. It was better than eating a hot dog, and whoa, could they light up the sky. So look for the drone show near you. Look for Darth coming up behind you because he might scare the heck out of you as he did me. And have fun at the ballpark. And, you know, another thing at the ballpark in Arlington, where the Angels play, is a wonderful new setup, a free game exhibit where Bandai Namco, a spectacular Japanese company that started Pac-Man. If you remember Pac-Man and Lady Pac-Man, they have Pac-Man machines that you can play, and also wonderful chances of winning some prizes. It's a fun place to be, and I think it's going to really add to the environment at Angel Stadium.
Always fun to have those family-friendly things that you can do at the ballpark. The video games, you're going to be able to play Pac-Man there, like we've seen, like Bobby's talking about. That's going to be a lot of fun at Angel Stadium. All the kids are going to have a good time at the game watching Kikuchi pitch. And one of the things Kikuchi loves to do, we're going to get into this a little bit, painting the black. And Bobby, we're going to get into that a little bit with our wakashimashika.
Yeah, wakarimashika, ne? What do you understand? Wakaru and with the K. Yeah, wakarimashika. You want to know if you understand the terms of the game of baseball. American terms are used often, and you wonder, why do they say what they say? Well, today we're going to ask, Frankie, why do they call home plate a plate?
Yeah, so crazy story about home plate being called a plate. Back in the 1860s, they used to actually use a real home plate, like a dinner plate. They would just put a plate out there, like this right here. It was crazy. So they had that. It went from a normal base. It was just a base. So many different variations of the home plate. But now we have the actual home plate like we know it today, the shape like this. But at one time was an actual dinner plate.
Yeah, one time it was a plate, and you started there, and you went around the bases to go home, and they called it home plate. In case you were wondering, that was it. Are there any other U.S. terms that are out there that we want to explain to our Japanese fans?
So another one we're going to dive into this week has to do with home plate. When you dot up a fastball, when you throw a fastball and it goes right over the edge of the plate, right at the very end, they call that the black of the plate. Painting, dotting, placing the ball on the black. They call that painting the black. So right at the edge of the zone, right there on the corner, almost off the plate, but just catches the corner. They call that painting the black of the plate. So we saw Shota, Kikuchi do it there. So many Japanese pitchers doing that so well early on in this season.
And the reason they call it the black is because that home base was white with a black trim around it for many years. Now they take that black trim and they put it under the dirt. So you only see the white part of the plate. You don't see the 2.5 inches that used to be around that home plate. And we still say painting the black, even though there's no black on home plate.
One of those just old baseball terms that's always going to be around, even though now, as Bobby just mentioned, there's no black, but dotting that back, black, painting the black, that's always going to be a saying in baseball forever.
Yeah, painting like with a little stroke. They have such a good arm stroke that the stroke paints the black when it's just on the corner. And, the umpires are human and they make mistakes, and eventually we're going to have automatic strike zones in the minor leagues. At some parks, you can challenge a call if you don't believe it, like they did in spring training. And then they go to the replay and look at the digital image to see if, in fact, the ball crossed the plate. They can change the call in the minor leagues. You cannot change the call at the major league level yet, but eventually that will be an automated strike zone, and that will be very good for the game of baseball.
Yes, it will. We mentioned the tough pitches that Yusei Kikuchi was not getting called for strikes during some of his outings. In the future, I bet maybe as soon as next season, baseball will implement this automatic balls and strike system, and it's going to be in the game, eliminating a lot of these mistakes.
Yeah, I think they'll start with a challenge where you'll have a couple challenges during the game, each team, where you can challenge the call of the umpire, but eventually every pitch will be automated, and that's, I believe, what it should be.
Yes. We saw that work out in spring training, and it probably will be there by next season. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and as I said, it is in the minor leagues in some ballparks. Well, we want to say congratulations for sure. Omedetou gozaimasu to the Otani family for their for their new baby gal. And also congratulations to so many great performances out on the field, in particular by the Japanese pitchers who, Frankie, as you mentioned, in the National League are leading in the very young season for the Cy Young Award, the number one pitcher in the National League. The three top now happen to be Yamamoto, Senga, and
Shota Imanaga.
Exactly. The three big ones, two right-handers, one left-handers, doing some damage at the major league level.
And don't forget about the youngster Sasaki. He's going to be there all season too, doing his thing.
He's getting better with every start, and that's what Dave Roberts said. It was going to be a work in progress where he will progress. He has pitched more in each outing that he's pitched. He's now added his slider to the repertoire of his fastball and his split finger. They might have exactly that special package that they thought they had when they brought him over from the Chibalote Marines. But without any further ado, think about the drones, think about Star Wars. Give thanks to everyone. It's the Easter season for any Christians who are out there. It will be celebrated this entire Sunday around Major League Baseball. And until next week, Frankie Rampant and Bobby Valentine saying, take care. And next time, Hanashima Show. Take care.